It's the Midnight Raven, and excuse how I'm sitting. I currently have a bad swollen back. So today we are looking at another true crime case with Raven. Welcome to my channel. I am Raven. This is how I normally sit and do my videos. So today we're looking at part 2 of the Invisible Man case. If you haven't already seen part 1, I will link it. So this was a brief recap. Basically, we have a guy that decided he was going to go out for a drink. His name was Brian. He was celebrating the fact that it was spring break. He was commiserating that his mum had recently died. He was due to fly out on Monday with his girlfriend on holiday. They were going on a pub crawl beforehand. Sounds amazing. Only problem is he disappeared from the club and was never seen again. His friends left the club not knowing where he was, whether he'd gone home. And by Monday morning, when he missed the flight, his girlfriend called the police, and this is where the case picks up. So, officers began trawling through the CCTV footage and was shocked that he found nothing. He was seen up until 2 a.m. on the CCTV and then just disappears. In addition to the cameras that were pointed at the escalator, the bar has 2 exits. Both are covered by CCTV, and none of them recorded Brian leaving the bar. So the only other exit not covered by CCTV was through a construction site. Officers had examined video from 3 nearby bars as well to see whether Brian had left the CCTV and wasn't seen, and nothing would come up from the other CCTV. It's like he disappeared into thin air. So the police were baffled by the fact he hadn't left the club. So a search began of the bar, focusing on the bar, and then a search of Brian's apartment, making sure he hadn't actually left the bar and gone home. But despite 50 officers, a dog unit, there were no signs of him at the bar, and he hadn't been home. So, missing posters were put all the way round town, trying to pique someone's interest. Maybe someone had seen Brian leave. So, the police would then go on to get permission from the city to check the sewer system. Why? I have no idea. But the police would turn to the sewers and still came up with nothing. Police then turned to eyewitnesses, speaking to everybody that had seen Brian that night, and they came up with nothing. They asked all of those that had seen Brian that night to take a lie detector test, including all of his friends, his girlfriend, and the works. His father, Randy, took one, and so did Meredith, and they both passed. Clint refused to take the test. Sounds suspicious? A friend wouldn't take a polygraph to prove he was innocent? His lawyer maintained he had nothing to hide and did not want to cooperate with police. He didn't have anything to hide, but he wouldn't do a polygraph to clear himself in his friend's disappearance. So the police and the lawyers considered this case closed. Okay. So police were desperate for clues leading to what happened to Brian. At this point, they had nothing. He literally vanished. And with Clint obviously failing a lie detector test, he was under suspicion for something. You know, he hadn't taken the test. For what reason? Would he have failed? Did he know something? So Randy consulted with a psychic out of desperation. His dad, after losing his wife, was desperate for answers. So the psychic told Randy that Brian's body was near a body of water or a pier and was possibly under a bridge. The Olentangy, I presume that's how it's pronounced. The Olentang was a river that runs through Columbus, which was less than a mile from Brian's apartment. Now, Randy died in 2008 not knowing what happened to his son. How terrible is that? So, the psychic said that Brian was in water Now, most people speculate that maybe Brian was a victim of the smiler face killer. So, two retired detectives believe that the number of young men found in water across several Midwestern states between 1990 and 2010 were murdered rather than drowning by accident. The hallmark of this theory was the presence, of graffiti depicting a smiley face close to where each of the bodies were discovered, but no such markings were found along the Columbus River stretch of the Olentangy River that was near the club. So, police considered that Brian perhaps left the bar wearing a disguise. Question would be, why? At this point, it looked like they were just clutching at straws. But they could offer no explanation to why he would turn his back on his friends and why he would walk away from his girlfriend, who he was meant to be going on holiday with on Monday. Yes, he had the trauma of losing his mother to cancer. He was, looking to a bright future with it being spring break, and then he was going to university, and then he was going on holiday. He was hanging out with friends. He seemed to have everything a man could want. Others suggested he had come to harm en route back to his apartment and had managed to get out of the bar without being noticed. There was fake sightings in 2019 when a picture of a homeless man in Tijuana, Mexico, I can't pronounce that, I'm sorry, was made public, and the bearded figure bore a resemblance to Brian, but the FBI facial recognition technology confirmed it wasn't him. It was just like a doppelganger. It looked similar to him, but it wasn't him. So a decade and a half later, after Brian's disappearance, his whereabouts remain unknown. Did Brian succumb to an incident? Was he abducted? Did he just leave his girlfriend and his life behind? Did he have a mental breakdown and wander off? Did someone hurt him? No one has anything to go on. Although we had a fake sighting, nothing has come up since. Brian is a completely missing person, who in this case is known as the Invisible Man. So whether Brian will ever be found remains a mystery. Hopefully one day we can answer this question and we can hopefully help his family. But to this day, Brian remains missing. And for whatever reason, we have no idea. So if you like this case, give it a big thumbs up. I'm sorry I have to keep peering over there. It's where my notes are. All my cases, as you can see, are in this lovely file, and they're all researched because I spend time and effort on each of my cases. And this book, unfortunately, is so big now, it blocks my camera. So I'm sorry if I keep peering down there, but the information is what's important, not the fact that my eyes are over there. So if you want to see more from me, give us a big thumbs up. This was the Invisible Man case. If you haven't seen part 1 where I go through some of the backstory, where it comes up to Brian being missing, do check that out. I will link it here. If you want to support the channel, remember a membership, a PayPal, or just subscribing to the channel helps. Or if you want to give me a super chat and tell me your opinion on this case, I'm willing to hear all opinions in the comments down below. I do reply to every message you send. And if you'd like to become a member for extra videos every week, then become a member for 99 pence. It goes into helping fund my research because I do spend many hours doing this. Like and subscribe. This is True Crime with Raven, and I will see you very soon for another case. Take care and thanks for watching. Bye guys.